Halloween was pretty much the film that invented the slasher genre. Technically, Peeping Tom and Psycho invented the genre, but it was Halloween that really set the rules and tropes that slasher movies would follow for decades to come. In 1978, small director John Carpenter directed this independent film with a shoestring budget. Similar to films such as Friday the 13th and A Nightmare on Elm Street, they used a veteran actor to play one of the characters in the film and attract a much larger audience than would have gone to it before. Well-known character actor Donald Pleasance has one of the starring roles in the movie as Dr. Loomis, a role unbeknownst to him would later become one of his most remembered roles. With Halloween, the unexpected happened, and by the end of its theatrical run, it grossed $70 million worldwide, making it one of the most successful indie films ever made. And there's a good reason for that, because it's one of the best horror movies ever made. The film starts off with a great POV shot of Michael Myers as a 6-year-old boy as he goes to his sister's room and stabs her to death. This scene is really creepy and sets up the rest of the movie really well. 15 years later, and Dr. Loomis, the doctor who has been trying to help Michael over the years, is on his way to the institute where Michael Myers is being held. Then as they arrive, Michael manages to steal their car and escape. We are then introduced to Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis. She becomes the main character of the movie. Laurie's father is trying to sell the old Myers house. He gets Laurie to drop the keys off at the house on her way to school. She does this, but Michael sees her and then stalks her. This part of the movie is really creepy. The way Michael just stands there and then manages to disappear really creates a lot of tension and atmosphere. Meanwhile, Dr. Loomis finds that Michael's sister's headstone has been stolen from the local cemetery. Dr. Loomis then sets out to find Michael. While she is babysitting, Laurie's friends start getting killed off one by one. When she goes to check on them, she finds their corpses. Then Michael Myers chases her for the rest of the movie. This part of the movie is terrifying. I remember when I first watched the movie being incredibly creeped out by this scene. Dr. Loomis then comes in to save the day. He shoots Michael and he falls off the balcony. Then as Loomis goes to look at Michael's body, it has disappeared. This leaves the film on a massive cliffhanger. We then see shots of the two houses in the movie with Michael's breath accompanying them. This scene is incredibly atmospheric. There wasn't originally meant to be a sequel. The aspect of the killer still being out there is something that could have made the film much scarier. Despite the fact I do like most of the sequels, I think it would have been much better as a standalone movie. John Carpenter's score for the movie is just amazing. It suits the tone of the movie and makes the film that much more creepy. John Carpenter's movie scores have always been good, but I think the score for Halloween is probably his crowning achievement. The acting is all fantastic and believable. You can tell most of the actors are amateurs, but no one gives a bad performance whatsoever. There is a reason why Halloween is considered to be a classic. It pretty much defined an entire genre. It became the film that nearly all slasher movies would imitate. It's a fantastic movie all around. It's one of the scariest movies ever made in my opinion. You'd think for a film about people being killed there would be a lot more gore, but honestly, I think it works better without it. In fact, apart from the blood stain on Michael's knife at the beginning of the movie, there's no blood whatsoever in the whole film. Halloween is one of my all-time favourite horror movies. It works on every single level. I give it a 10 out of 10.